Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and we are back for another Xur video. It is February 19th, and hopefully you guys have been staying safe, staying warm this week. Finally, I think Texas is slowly starting to creep out of the chaos we have been in. But Xur is up here in the European Dead Zone. He is down here on the Winding Cove location, and he's on his little cave that everybody seems to be up in. Let's go up here and see what he's got. Also recorded episode 137 of The Last Word this morning. You guys will see that later on my YouTube channel, probably tomorrow morning. Talk about that in the end. But for now, let's see what Tentacle Face has for sale. Alright, so as usual, your exotic cipher. If you are working on those for, old exotics, you can hit those. Your exotic engram is your chance at random rolls. Remember, if you have all the exotics that can come in here, so go in and preview the collections. If you've got everything, then you're just going to be going for a random piece of armor. If you're missing anything, it's a good way to get some of the old stuff. Let's talk about what he's selling. First thing we have is the Crimson, or Crimson, just hand cannon. It is a 3-burst hand cannon, and it's actually pretty legit. I've seen people use this thing in Crucible off and on for a very long time. It's rounds per minute of 415, but again, if you divide that by 3, it's a slow firing. But the idea is the catalyst, if you can get it, is going to take the range almost to max. So it's a pretty stellar hand cannon. And kills with this weapon heal the wielder. Precision kills also refill the magazine. You're likely going for precision kills for both. So if you get a precision kill, you get a magazine refill, and you get health. So this is useful in multiple places. If you like hand cannons for exotics and healing, this is going to keep you alive. In Crucible, it's got a pretty solid amount of range. Hand cannons are in a good spot. Basically, if you don't have this hand cannon, buy it, and then definitely give it a shot. I've seen people have success with this thing pretty continually for a while now. Long time of use that this thing's had in Crucible, still probably decent. May not be like top of the meta, but I definitely know people can put some good work in with this one. You've got heavy grip for increased stability. You've got increased range and stability. So overall, pretty solid weapon. If you don't have this one, for sure, add this to your collection. For the hunters, we've got these Stompies. Hydraulic boosters is your perk. Increase sprint speed and slide distance. Also improves each one of your jumps. Pretty straightforward. You get faster sprint speed and slide distance. So if you're slide shotties, for example, like to book it around the map a little faster, these are not a horrible way just to increase your mobility. Your mobility is 12, resilience of 18. I guess at some point you've got to have some resilience if you like using this in PvP. Recovery is ultra low though, so not the favorite, but strength at 14. Again, not like an optimal stat roll here. Could definitely be better, but if you're missing these, you want to go a little faster as a hunter in PvP especially. This is probably one to consider. The stat roll probably might need to make up for some of those stats on other pieces of armor that you've got. But if you want to use these to go a little faster, slide a little farther, and jump a little higher, these are for you. For the Titans, we've got the Ursa Furiosa. This is going to have the perk Ursine Guard. Move faster while guarding with Sentinel Shield. So this is going to be for middle tree Sentinels. Guarded damage converts to super energy when the super ends. So if you do take a ton of damage that you're guarding, you are able to actually put a decent chunk of that damage back into your super when the super ends. So this thing is actually not bad in PvP, or PvE I should say. Take a bunch of damage, help your friends out. As they're shooting through your shield, they do more damage. Kind of a Grandmaster Nightfall type thing. Definitely some use here. Overall stats are kind of hit or miss. 13 recovery, 14 intellect, 10 strength. Not bad. If that mobility was at resilience, you'd be actually sitting pretty solid on this one. Overall 63, not too shabby though. If you don't have this one, you like to help your friends out, kind of running Sentinel, Titan, for example, this is definitely one you should add to your collections. Reasonable stat roll to go with it. But if you're missing this one, it's used for middle tree Sentinel. Definitely the main way to go with that one. Finally here for the Warlocks, we've got Chromatic Fire, always a fun one. When a light subclass is equipped, so it's Arc, Solar, and Void, Stasis does not count. Precision Final Blows with your Kinetic weapon, which also includes the new exotic from the exotic quest, create an explosion in the element of your subclass. So if you like the new Dead Man's Tale, for example, which I've got a video guide on how to get that, this is going to allow that thing to explode with Arc, Solar, or Void if you're running one of those subclasses. So kind of a cool synergy for kinetic weapons, Warlocks, and then your subclass. Always fun to use, and it works on anything. Hawk Moon, whatever you're using. Literally, if you get a kinetic weapon Final Blow, so Hawk Moon Final Blow, it doesn't have to be the big one. Every time it's going to have that explosion that matches your subclass. Overall, fairly cool, and your stats overall looking at a 65, 15 for recovery, 17 for intellect. Those two alone will probably make you look at this one. 14 mobility, 13 strength. If that mobility was either in resilience or discipline, this is like almost a must-buy. Still pretty solid on stats, so if you have a chromatic fire, compare your stats. If you don't have one, buy it, go shoot some kinetic weapons, and watch things explode. That pretty much does wrap it up for Xur. Someday, he will ever show up on another planet, but I guess we'll just have to wait for that to happen. But as I said, this morning we've recorded episode 137 with Danfinity. He does some work for Planet Destiny. He's been part of Tracker Network, done some cool stuff. He was a great chat this morning as we talked about the new exotic and everything that's coming for the season. And as for me, if you guys are new to the channel, enjoyed the video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you've got any thoughts, opinions about these exotics, or just anything going on with the season, or if you just want to say hello, I try and say hello back. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. You guys will know if I start streaming or get new videos up on YouTube. I also stream on Twitch, and then you can find most of what I'm doing on Twitter. This week with the Texas weather has been crazy, but I usually have a stream schedule, and I'll get one of those back up next week, as long as my internet agrees. But thank you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one.